Hello and welcome again to another video. Today I'm going to do a small review of the new Amazon Prime series House of David. Now, House of David follows the life of David from the Old Testament and his epic battle with Goliath and many other events that happen in 1 Samuel and 2 Samuel. And the story of David is probably one of the most famous in the Old Testament, and it's the one that everyone knows. Also, his moral failings with Bathsheba and her husband Uriah, and how he became king, and other things like that. So, it's amazing how that this series has come out with a huge budget as well. So, before I get into it, though, I just want to play a little clip from this just to show you from the trailer.
I will tell you the story of David, a simple shepherd boy.
Why do my brothers get to fight? And I'm stuck here.
David, you are not a man of blood.
An outcast who became one of the most famous kings who ever lived.
God does not see what man sees. He sees into the heart.
God sees into the heart. Now, this series was produced partly by Dallas Jenkins and from the Chosen series, and also the other guy, which I can't remember. But they pitched it to Amazon Studios. I watched an interview with them the other day, and Amazon were happy to back it with their big budget, and they did not want to be involved in the changing of the story or anything like that, which is fantastic. So it was really the creative control was in the team that made it, which was awesome. And you can tell it's a big budget production because of the cinematography is just incredible, stunning detail, and it's a lot different to The Chosen. Obviously, it's a lot grittier and a lot darker, but in that period of time, it was kind of really dark and gritty. Now, I'll also mention the other big thing. It happens at every single episode. It says parts of the Bible were adapted, and it is definitely adapted. It's not something that is following exactly what it says in the Bible. And again, what the message says is you need to go and read the Bible to get the full and proper story. But the essence of the story is still there, and it's just still 2 episodes to go, or 1 episode to go before the end of the season, and it's just been renewed for season 2. But it's just an awesome account of David again, and I know that there's opinions divided on who likes and who doesn't. I actually really love the series, and I know that it's not biblically accurate. I mean, in the first scene in episode 1, we see the battle between David and Goliath strikes David with the spear, injuring David, and David gets hit to the ground, and then it goes back in time. But apart from that, it's really intriguing just to see some of that story come to life. And what really is the part that captures it for me is it really shows the madness of King Saul, how he goes from this amazing king that followed the Lord and trusted in God to his spiral into madness and decay. And the only way that his mind stayed sane was when David played the harp. And it's really shows the family struggles and the kingdom struggles as well, and all the politics and all those type of things that go on. And we get a bit of a background story to the giants, and with stunning visuals on how they came to be through the Nephilim, and the really what we see David as just a struggling person that has no sort of sense of where he is, and he gets called by God and the prophets when he's looking for Jesse's son, says, "You have one more son," and the father says, "Yes, but he's only a sheep herder." And it just shows again that God uses anybody. God uses the weak and the downtrodden of the world, and that's what he did with David. A sheep herder became a king, and the king of Israel, and one of the most famous known kings of Israel. And as we go through the episodes, we see David's journey and his struggle and how he came into the king's court and started playing music. And it's just all these tension and dramas being built up by it, of course, but it's just not sure whether we'll see the battle again this season, or if they'll wait to the start of season 2, as they tend to do with these TV shows. But I've enjoyed watching it at the moment. It's just really, really great to see these Bible stories coming to life, and not just poor budget and poor acting and poor storyline. It is now big budget and really good acting, which gets people watching. And it's the same with The Chosen. People have loved The Chosen as well, and I love The Chosen. And it's really well produced, and people are actually watching biblical content because it actually has high production values. And yes, it does stray from some of the biblical narrative, but it offers a really great portrayal of David and his rise from a nobody to a king. And in the Bible itself, I'll read through the David and Goliath bit, and for me it's in 1 Samuel chapter 17, and it really captures the heart that David had for God, even though he had many moral failings further in his life. But the first thing he does is David hears Goliath shouting and defying God. And David heard this, and this disturbed David. And this is why David actually says, "How dare you defy the armies of the living God?" And the people answered him in the same way, "So shall it be done to the man who kills him." Because no one wanted to fight Goliath, but David stood up and said, "I will fight him." In verse 31, it says, "When the words that David spoke were heard, they repeated them before Saul, and he sent for him. And David said to Saul, 'Let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine.' And Saul said to David, 'You are not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are but a youth, and he has been a man of war from his youth.' And David then argued and said, 'Nope, I fought lions and bears in the wilderness.' And then in verse 37, it finishes off with, "And David said, 'The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine.' And Saul said to David, 'Go, and the Lord will be with you.'" And that's just a great example of, no matter what our circumstances or what we're struggling with, God will be with us. And we don't need to fear. Even though the circumstances might look impossible or things are going wrong, God will be with you in that, and God will always be with you. So thanks for watching the video. That's just my little take on the House of David series. I'm loving it, and I'm going to keep watching it. What are your thoughts? Have you watched the show? And if you have, do you like it or not like it? Just let me know in the comments. And yeah, like and subscribe this video and to this channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.